Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking something absolutely huge. We are diving deep into the newly released 2026 Work Trend Index annual report titled Agents, Human Agency, and the Opportunity for Every Organization. And let me tell you, if you still think of AI as just a fancy calculator or a simple writing assistant, prepare to completely shift your perspective. We're moving way beyond AI as a mere tool. What we're looking at today is a fundamental, ground-up revolution in how businesses operate. We're looking at an entirely new operating model for human work itself. Now, to really set the stakes here, I want you to look at this quote from Dr. Karim Lakhani at Harvard Business School. He says, "The industrial era asked how to scale production. The emerging AI era asks how should work itself be designed." Think about that for a second, because that is massive. He's arguing that the rise of AI agents isn't just the next wave of software, it is a total change in the everyday architecture of execution. When you can embed, distribute, and delegate intelligence on demand, the central task of a business leader shifts entirely. It's no longer about just adopting new tech. It's about completely redesigning workflows and processes from the ground up. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today's explainer. We're going to cover 1. The new agency equation, 2. Lifting individual potential, 3. The 4 modes of AI, 4. The transformation paradox, and 5. Re-architecting the organization. Let's get right to it. Section 1. The new agency equation, redefining value. So, to rethink the boundaries between human effort and machine execution, we need to look at what's called the new agency equation. The core idea here is that as AI and autonomous agents take on the heavy lifting, the routine execution, our human agency actually expands. We literally get more room to direct the work, make the tough calls, and own the final outcomes. It makes total sense, right? As execution scales automatically and cheaply, the premium on human judgment, strategy, and orchestration absolutely skyrockets. Less time doing the busy work means way more capacity to drive real impact. Moving on to Section 2, lifting individual potential, the frontier professional. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it completely shatters our assumptions about how people are actually using AI. Looking at a breakdown of over 100,000 Microsoft 365 Copilot chats, you might think people are mostly using AI just to churn out emails or draft text, right? Well, actually, producing work is only 17% of the pie, and information gathering, just 15%. A whopping 49%, almost half of all AI use, is for high-level cognitive work. We're talking analyzing information, reasoning, deciding, and solving really complex problems. Half the time, humans are using AI as a thought partner to deepen their own expertise. And the results of this cognitive partnership, they are staggering. 80%. That is the percentage of what this report calls frontier professionals, basically the most advanced 16% of AI users out there who say they are producing work today that they simply could not have done a year ago. That's a real game changer. AI isn't just making them a little bit faster, it's lifting the entire ceiling on their individual potential and allowing them to do completely new kinds of high-value work. So you're probably wondering, what exactly are these frontier professionals doing differently? Well, it's not just that they use AI more, it's how they use it. They're building multi-step workflows, they're creating shared AI standards across their teams. But take a really close look at those last 2 points. They intentionally pause before a task to explicitly decide, okay, is this a human task or an AI task? And get this, 43% of them intentionally do some work without AI, just to keep their own skills sharp. They absolutely refuse to outsource their critical thinking. They understand that maintaining their uniquely human skills is absolutely crucial to their long-term success. That brings us to Section 3, the 4 modes of AI, a framework for work. You see, success with AI isn't about just blasting it at maximum intensity 24/7. It's about dynamically choosing the right mode for the task at hand. This framework breaks it down perfectly. You've got delegation for your routine execution, like compiling those recurring reports where you're basically supervising an AI teammate. Then there's collaboration. This is when the work needs both of you, like refining a complex proposal together through multiple rounds of feedback. You've also got asking for when you just need quick facts, acting as a director to an AI assistant. And finally, exploration, to really test the edges of what the AI can do with new prompt strategies. The real secret of the frontier professional is just knowing which mode a specific task calls for. All right, Section 4, the transformation paradox, systems left behind. And this brilliantly illustrates the core conflict we're facing right now. If you map individual AI capability against organizational readiness, the paradox jumps right out at you. Up in that top right zone, you have the frontier. That's about 19% of workers flying high. But look right there in the middle. A massive 50% are just emergent, where things are still kind of taking shape. And crucially, 10% are stuck in the blocked agency zone. These are highly skilled users ready to go, but they're being grounded by their company's red tape, outdated systems, or maybe a panicked IT department. We have to contrast these two forces. Look, you can be the most productive, forward-thinking frontier professional on the planet, but individual effort alone isn't going to cut it. The data actually shows that organizational factors, things like company culture, manager support, and talent practices, account for twice the reported AI impact compared to just individual effort alone. Systems don't fix themselves, right? If the organization doesn't have the workers back, all that amazing individual potential is just lost capacity. Which leads us to our final part, Section 5, Re-architecting the Organization, the Lear's Mandate. Since employees are raising the bar, but systems are lagging behind, the burden falls squarely on leadership to re-architect the entire organization. And as leaders redesign these systems, we really need to remember what we're actually optimizing for. Check out this quote from Anish Raman. "The human brain remains the most complex, incredible object in the known universe." We're going to go back to some of the fundamentals that make us us. I absolutely love the energy of this perspective. Embracing AI agents doesn't mean we're sidelining humans. No way. It actually means leaning even heavier into our uniquely human traits, our creativity, our empathy, our ability to connect the dots that machines simply can't see. Connor Grennan hits the nail on the head here too. He points out that the future of human work absolutely lies in judging the quality of output, figuring out the directions to point the AI, and ultimately bringing people along. Leadership in the AI age isn't about tracking how many lines of code or reports someone generated. It's about setting crystal clear intent. It's about orchestrating human expertise alongside that AI execution. The organizations that win are going to be the ones that redefine their value around what only humans can do, building operating models that turn these local individual gains into massive institutional advantages. So I want to leave you with a final provocative thought for today. As AI takes over the execution and the ceiling on individual potential completely lifts, is your organization actually built to capture that newly freed human agency? Or are your people ready and raring to go while your systems are left in the dust? It is time to re-architect how work gets done. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and we'll see you next time as we break down another fascinating topic.